let the people know that they can join this awesome, fun Star Wars conversation live every Wednesday. We're all inclusive, not exclusive. We just like to have fun, and we're not too proud of ourselves. Some people are, but we're not, because frankly, I'm in my spare bedroom doing this show, so I don't take myself too seriously. Hey, what's going on in the world right now? Well, I'll tell you this. Kanye West is in the headlines. Surprise, surprise. You might have noticed he's on your presidential ballot, which is freaking weird 2020. But hey, he's also in the news because he's talking about Star Wars. He was recently on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, and he let the world know that he prefers the prequels over the sequel trilogy. He said this, and this is about to make me mad right here. First time you've seen me get mad in an interview.
Uh-oh.
They said that George Lucas prequels were worse than the corporate-made Disney Star Wars. Revenge of the Sith, we saw how Darth Vader was made. I watched that like 10 times during COVID. Don't jump, Anakin. I've got the high ground. This honestly kind of sounds like a song that Kanye would write. It's got people fired up, obviously, guys, because there's always that division of, what's better, the original trilogies, the prequel trilogies, obviously. We talk about the divisiveness in society, in the film industry, in the Star Wars fandom. But it's kind of bizarre. It's not really news. Like this is a non-story, but we have a presidential candidate technically going on the Joe Rogan podcast and proclaiming his love for the prequel trilogy. I don't like Kanye West as like a celebrity, but I'm all about some prequel love, man. Like I'm all about it. Pete, am I a bad person for bringing this up on B2B Live 94? Is this a bad decision on my point as a producer?
No, as I said in the opener, I don't care what Kanye West has to say, but what I think is hilarious is that the Fandom Menace people, not the Phantom Menace, but the Fandom Menace people, have taken to supporting Kanye's perspective here and using it as more ammo. No offense, ammo, but using it as more ammunition for their narrative that the sequels suck and the prequels are fantastic. Keeping in mind that a lot of these people hated the prequels 20 years ago, so here's my perspective. If you're using Kanye West's opinion as support for your argument, maybe reevaluate your argument.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I just here, and to be fair, I should probably read the other part of the quote. He said, I'm saying even the prequels are better than anything, and I'm sorry, Disney Star Wars design team. This is George. This is his baby. That thing was set in his heart to show us as children the hero's journey. And then he also did have a brief mention of like the connection between like just Luke and how he identified with that character. So, and I think what it shows, and at least this is why I was into it, was we kind of all have an intimate connection with a lot of characters in the franchise. You latch on to one character, I latch on to another. Arzu, maybe there's a character that you really saw something of yourself in them, and that's what allowed you to be connected with the saga. I think it's nice to see the human side. Like, again, I think that Kanye is like a terrible artist. I don't like his work. I don't enjoy it. But I did watch the David Letterman interview with Kanye West, and it made me respect him as a human being. I'm not going to lie. Showed that he has like a good, warm heart side. So I'm digressing. I guess I'm trying to defend myself because I feel like I just tore the man down, and maybe he doesn't deserve that. But
don't worry. If he's watching, he'll let you know.
Well, yeah. Listen, if I get called out in like a diss track next year, I'm saying that's like negative publicity is still publicity. Yeah, it's still a win. Arzu, am I missing the bigger point here? What do you think is important when we're talking about Kanye's take on the prequels over the sequels?
So I know a lot of people like Kanye West music. It's not my style of music, but I respect him as an artist, less as a person because of his antics during a very important presidential election. But my whole thing with his opinion, I'm like, that's great. That's your opinion. I love that we are past the prequels are bad. I'm glad we are past as a society, as a fandom, we are past. Well, I like the prequels. I know. Like, I'm glad we're past all that. But you have to consider if the way you're phrasing something is making the fandom menace latch on. Yep. Phrase it differently. And I also, what caught my attention in his comments was going, well, the corporate Disney sequels. I'm going, okay, fair. It's George's vision, and that's fine. But you can't not call them corporate when I have vivid memories of being unable to buy like a fountain drink without like a scratch off Darth Maul thing on it. Like it was everywhere during the prequels. So I get it's not corporate made versus merchandising. I get that, but let's not pretend the prequels were like indie movies that nobody saw.
I'm with you. Lords of the Long Box in the live chat says Revenge of the Sith greater than Return of the Jedi. Yes, I said it. And I honestly, I would agree. I'm a big prequel lover. I loathe Attack of the Clones. Like I've talked about this before. When I rank the movies, I put Attack of the Clones at like the Earth's core. That's how deep I want that filth to burn. But yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, Arzu. I think you're solid. And I think the thing that we have to keep in mind, and I think this is beyond just Star Wars, everyone gets their opinion. And on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, he's being asked what he thinks. So that's what he thinks, and he gets that take. I really don't think that Kanye is worried about the Phantom Menace. I think that we shouldn't be worried about the Phantom Menace because it's like Voldemort. You know, like the more you fear it, the more power you give them, and they're just douches. So we're not worried about them. But I can respect the take. I can respect the take. I like his reasoning because it's something that honestly, like I relate to. I think I feel more connected to the original, the original trilogy and the prequels because I know that was the story that Lucas penned, and I know that his story had some influence maybe on the sequel trilogy. Now his lack of involvement with the sequels, I still can enjoy some of the movies. I still enjoy Force Awakens. I like elements of the other two movies. But I think it's interesting that, yes, we are at that point, Arzu, where there is that prequel love. And, you know, we think about, I just mentioned at the top of this episode, guys, I'm buying a freaking Jar Jar Binks Black Series figure for $24.99 because it's cool. Like Jar Jar is cool.
Everyone's coming around to Jar Jar.
Took 20 years, but they're there. Yep.
It took him 20. Well, yeah, I love this. I love that quote from Liam Neeson where he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about, people, because like I was on set and I thought he was the funniest dude on the set. You know, he's like, This guy's great. You know, so I wish we would all have mentality. It looks like 20 years later we do. Again, I'll fully admit this was a non-news story, but it was kind of fun to talk about. What do you think about Kanye spouting off his love for the prequel trilogy? Should he turn that faucet off, or should he unwind and let that flow all over?
I do want to say one thing though. I don't think it's. I think the problem is. Look, love what you love, and that's awesome. And I've come around on the. Ken Knapsack's I'm a reformed prequelist. I'm totally with him on that, and I get that point of view. To me, it's Kanye West saying something, and the Phantom Menace and people who hate the sequels latching on to anything they can grab onto to hate the sequels. And there's. Look, again, at the end of the day, it's you love your Star Wars, go for it. Don't spend energy hating people for not liking the same thing as you. That's asinine.
He is spoken.
Thank you for watching Beyond the Blast Doors. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up and leave a comment. Beyond the Blast Doors, a Star Wars conversation.